This is where I travel to. Let's explore. Hi everybody, kind of look a little bit tired, although I slept really well last night. It's my second day in the city of Focsani, which is a medium-sized city in the region of Moldova. As you guys know, Romania has a geographical and territorial region called Moldova, but there's also the neighboring country, the Republic of Moldova. Anyway, in history they used to be together, but now they're separate. One is a region and the other one is a country in itself. And the reason why I'm here in Focsani is I have a lot of relatives that come from here. My mother was actually born in a smaller town up north from Focsani called Panchu, and she actually grew up here. She grew up in Focsani, and yesterday she also told me that she got religiously married to my father here. My father is from Bucharest, my mother is from Moldova. This summer has been a lot about me really thinking about my family, because my father died at the beginning of the summer, towards the end of May. Since then, I've been thinking about my roots, my relatives, and I decided to just use a little bit of the money I saved up. And because I have time, since work has been incredibly slow in the last 3 months, I just decided I'm going to put this time to good use for fall and winter, and I'll travel back to the places that I remember from my childhood. And I spent a lot of time in Focsani when I was a kid. As soon as kindergarten or primary school was over, my mother would ship me to my grandmother, and my grandmother lived here in Focsani, and about 15 minutes walk away from my grandmother, my aunt and my little cousin lived, and I used to visit them and play with them, and I had a lot of friends here. Across the road from my grandmother, one of my best friends growing up used to live in a building, in a block of flats, and I have a memory of bathing in her bathroom because my grandmother lived in a house and we frequently had plumbing issues. We would go to Monica's flat and she had better plumbing, and I would take baths in her house. We would hang out a lot. We had plans to become politicians, join a girl band. We were obsessed with Mexican telenovelas, Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls, you know, millennials growing up together. Yeah, I have some really gorgeous memories. It wasn't a perfect childhood at all. Moldova back in the day used to be very poor. I was also a poor kid. My parents were struggling with money. They worked full-time, 2 jobs all the time. I used to spend summers with my grandmother because my grandmother was a retired old woman and she would have traveling benefits. Many retired people, especially in the 90s, they used to have free travel coupons, and if you took a small kid with you, it was even more discounted. That's why I would travel with my grandmother to get her treatments at the seaside, or we would just travel to see relatives around the region of Focsani. Like, for example, I have fond memories of burning wood together with a lot of witchy-looking old women, a lot of crone archetypes in the small village of Negrilești, and they used to tell me lots of stories about the mountains. Yeah, it was just a magical time when I was little. So in spite of the fact that we were relatively poor and quite limited in resources, we made the best with what we had, and that's what this region reminds me of: resilience and finding beauty in very small things and making do and living well within limited resources. That's kind of the ethos that I grew up with. So yesterday, after the bus took me here from Bucharest and dropped me at the Autogara Focsani, I quickly went through the afternoon heat to see some of these places because I was too impatient. And I got a little bit irritated because I was tired, I was dehydrated, it was incredibly hot outside, the sun was beating in my face, and this morning I'm freshened up. I just had a really nice breakfast, I showered, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna revisit them and I'm gonna film the vlog, because yesterday it didn't feel like I could film. Yesterday I was completely in my feeling mode, you know, I was just, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna see it, and I'm gonna feel it. And I was just talking to my mom, showing her images and videos of these places, and my mom started reminiscing with me, and she actually said, it's really cool that you went there because I keep remembering all sorts of things from my childhood. So I'm really happy to be doing this for Mom as well, because her heart has been broken since my dad died. And yeah, my mom has a funny way of expressing her feeling. I'm sure that if you're Eastern European, you know what I mean. My mother cleans the house instead of crying, you know, that's how she expresses her feelings. It's really happy that I'm able to give her this, you know, through my curiosity. So today I'm gonna take you with me to see some of my personal places, the house in which my mother grew up, the school that my mother used to go to when she was little in her primary school, the place where my aunt used to live, and where I used to spend most of my summers playing with my cousin in front of a fire brigade school, and also my grandmother's house where I spend most of my time and where I have the fondest memories, and across the road, the place where my best friend Monica used to live when I was little. It's kind of sad because time has passed and we lost touch. We had some misunderstandings as well related to living in the UK, which we did together at some point. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how versions of us used to get along in a distant past, while versions of us right now in the present are worlds apart in terms of values and things in common. That's one of the awful things about getting older. You may be getting wiser, you may be getting more experience, but somehow you just become more separate from everything and everyone you knew and you loved. At least that's my case. I don't know. Here's to a very cheeky bout of day drinking. This is some rosé wine. Focsani is wonderful in terms of wines and wine culture. They have some of the cheapest, most delicious wines in Romania. So I decided I would take advantage, and I got this really nice rosé. I actually thinned it with a lot of mineral water. We call this a spritz. Cheers. Here's to a really lovely bout of going down memory lane. Come with me. This is me. So this is my room. It has one of the strangest balconies I've ever seen. So that's the bathroom over there. I'm gonna take a shower in a second. And there are two beds. I don't know what's going on, but people keep giving me these kind of like two bed situations. I live in an apartment that has two beds. I keep being given hotel rooms with an extra bed, even though I kindly ask for a single one. It's like I have an entity attached to me that travels with me and it needs an extra bed. And people can see that, but I can't, which is weird because I'm supposed to be the medium tarot reader, divinator. These are windows for this balcony enclosure area thingy. Kind of cool, but I don't know. It's weird that the windows don't go all the way to the ground. I guess it's to keep the nosy neighbors from right across the road from looking in, but still, kind of gives you a claustrophobic energy. Yeah, and this is the bathroom. And it's super clean and organized. The only problem is that yesterday I actually saw a cockroach over there. I think it came through the plumbing. I don't know what it was doing, because aside from that, the room is super clean and okay. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna get dressed and then go to the city. This old derelict building, who looks like the space where a zombie apocalypse might erupt from any time, is actually providing the entire city of Focsani with warm water, and it's still functioning in spite of its appearance. Focsani recently has this really cool initiative which transformed a lot of their public transport into e-buses. and it's really awesome. I've seen a couple of these buses and they are quite tiny looking, but yeah, I'm really happy to see more electronic uses. Look, there's one over there. There's an e-bus coming now. I love how silent electronic devices are. Electronic buses, electronic cars. Oh, it would be amazing if everything would go electronic, to be honest. So we're approaching the city center in Focsani, and I just wanted to show you guys this very sweet garden. It has some toys, and it's really well kept by that man. There's this old man who is watering it. How awesome is this? And it's right at the bottom of a building of flats, so really sweet. See, if you want to take care of your community and make it into a little paradise, you actually can. Okay, let's go to the city center now. I mean, it looks okay, but the whole city smells of incredible dung. Like some wild animals have walked on the street and have pissed and pooed all over. Even a person that was walking around me kept saying, why does the city smell so bad? I can't take it anymore. So this is the city center of Focsani, and I remember that I used to play around this massive dick-like sculpture. It's called the obelisk, and that's the popular Athenaeum, or like a culture house. And that's a really old-fashioned communist hotel. I was actually deliberating whether I should book a room here, but then I thought, no, I want to sleep well tonight, and I can't do it in the city center because it's too loud. It's become incredibly crowded with all of these food trucks and like tiny stores, and there's also like a football field over there. And yesterday night when I came through, there were all these kids doing like races with these tiny trucks and tiny bicycles. Okay, so these are the days of the municipality of Focsani, July. So I guess the whole city has the Cancerian vibe. It's a lot of folk music. Major Gheorghe Pastia, Ateneul Popular, Major Gheorghe Pastia, Consiliul Local Focsani. I mean, it's pretty awesome. If only we didn't have so many additional commercialized boutiques. But I guess people have to make a living, you know. There is this really nice area that contains like a little artificial lake with a fountain. And this has been landscaped because it used to look very different from when I was a child. It was more wild. That fountain, I remember that one. We used to throw little pebbles and small silver coins in it. And my mom, apparently, when she was a teenager, she used to ride her bike over the rocks. I guess that's why she grew up with 2 broken arms and a leg. A broken leg, I mean. This area is so beautiful. They really did a good job with it. You can take a picture with wings over there. And the water is quite clear. So this is completely new and it looks really nice. It's like this open air, open garden beer pub. Okay, so that was the city center. That was the most central region of Focsani. It's really nice how they landscape here in the back where there are trees and vegetation, but it's very lifeless in the front where there are the historical buildings. I was debating whether I should go and have a cool beer over here, but since I'm no longer drinking fizzy drinks because of my stomach issues, I'm just going to have a coffee and read my novel at a really fun place I discovered yesterday. Let's go and check it out. So this is a street that is a little bit more romantic. There's a public library. Over here we have a really old-fashioned historical monument that unfortunately has been left to decay. I guess the town hall doesn't give an S, to put it mildly. But what I wanted to show you in this neighborhood is that yesterday when I came to take a photo of the university, which can be seen at the end of this road, I actually found a really romantic looking princess-like cafe. Wow, the buildings over here are one of a kind. Like, who has this entry door? This is really fancy. And they look like really spacious flats with just 3 or 4 floors, which is ideal to have. They remind me of flats in the mountainside because they have this protective entryway. Over there at the end of the road is the university, and over here is the cafe that I wanted to try out. It's called La Maison Florue Restaurant and Cafe from 1881. So let's try it. So this is the bathroom of La Maison Florue. Hi. It's very fancy schmancy. The waiter seems to be a bit sleepy and kind of rude. He didn't even notice that I walked in. But yeah, really nice. So unfortunately I didn't have such a good experience in that cafe. The waitress took like 20 minutes until she noticed that I even sat at the table. And she was rude. I ordered a salad and she said yes. And then she quickly changed her mind and said, I'm sorry, but we have no salads. No salads, okay. And the coffee didn't taste of almond. I asked for an almond coffee with almond syrup. It tasted bland. And there were a lot of very posh looking fat families that came to sit down, and they just spoiled the mood because they kept staring at me. Like, some people really enjoy destroying the peace of mind of a single girl. And it's a real phenomenon, I'm telling you. It's not something that is just in my mind. I've noticed it for a while. It's some sort of like family-based misogyny against single women. But anyway, let me show you a really nice building. So this is the University of Bucharest in combination with the University Alexandru Ancuza from Iași. And they have like a headquarter here in Focsani. Oh, that's really nice. It's like a school trip. And this region over here is just very beautiful. Yeah. So I actually think I'm just gonna go and have like a cool beer at a like relaxed place with no fancy schmancy expectations. So this is the house where my mother used to live. It's being at the moment occupied by another family, and apparently her neighbor had a really gorgeous garden. Some parts of it still stand, My mom said that when she was young, her house was the biggest on the street, but right now you can see the changes. Over there it's like a patisserie, like a small coffee and cake shop. The fence looked very snazzy, and there's a BMW. It's very kitsch looking though, too bad. The good part is that on the street there is a center for therapy for autistic children. So just one house away from where my mom used to live, which is really nice because that's what I've been doing as well in my career. So I have to say that Focsani has really become more rich throughout the years. There are a lot more building tenements like this. And look at this really weird yard with the very fancy gate. It looks like some sort of folk steampunk project. Yeah, fascinating. But yeah, you see a lot more like high-rise buildings. The houses have turned into villas. Yeah, it's definitely more rich than it was when I was a kid. But it's also more crowded and stuffy. So you can see here the entry to the school. Yep. It's really well made, really well kept. Compared to all the other things that I've seen in Focsani, this is actually really cool. It's well kept, it's clean, it's quiet. The whole city, yesterday when I came in, smelled like a fart or like dung, like horse dung. And even a person walking down the street was talking on the telephone with his friend and said, "Why is the city smelling so badly? I can't take it anymore." So yeah, not the best experience, very different compared to Campina. Campina smelled of linden. Focsani smells of brimstone and fire. I'm kind of happy my relatives moved out of here, to be honest. The person has a bird's nest on their balcony. And look at these really old-fashioned post-communist balconies. That's like a pickle jar. Like a really pickle bidon, better said, than jar. And then you've got this really charming street art. I hope I won't get demonetized for this, but then again, my channel is now monetized in the first place. So I get to show you guys whatever I want. The freedom of being non-capitalistic. And that's towards the city center. That's Hotel Unira. It's a really landmark Focsani. It's a bit strange. Everybody keeps staring at me. I get that a lot. As soon as you walk outside of Bucharest, people are in the habit of staring. Oh, look, some cats. Oh, sweetie. So that's a vet shop, a pet shop. Dennis Gates. And over there you can already see it. So that's supposed to be the church where my parents got married in 1986. Yeah. Okay, here we are. So this is the church. It's actually really beautiful. Very small and delicate. And you can see over here the protectors of this church are Saint Constantine and Helen. And you can see as well that this is a historical monument. But because it's so close to the street, to the road, it's pretty polluted and pretty loud. Okay, so I'm not going to go inside churches. It's hard to film inside churches, and I do want to be respectful as well. But now we're going to go to the city center, and I think I'm going to take a break, a reading break in a cafe. It would be really good if people would stop staring at me like I'm some sort of weirdo. I know I'm filming a vlog, but Yeah, they're really not accustomed to this here. Okay, I'm on my way to see where my aunt used to live. She lived on Strada Dornișoare number 10, which is around here someplace. Oh look, these are beautiful roses. Yeah, that's how people live. This is kind of like a cool area because it's quiet and it's filled with like family living quarters, but it is 5 minutes walking distance from the city center of Focsani. And over here you have like the fireman brigade. I think it's a training facility, but also, yeah, it's also emergency firemen. Like they come out of this place if there is a fire or an emergency, I guess. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. There's the fire brigade. It says Inspectoratul pentru Situații de Urgență Angel Salini al județului Vrancea. And then in this building at the 3rd floor I had a friend. So this is a mixed mini store. This of course did not exist here. I think there was an old lady that lived here. I guess she died and sold the flat. And this is the entry to the building. Yep, that's the address. So that's the street on which I used to play. And the round area. Should we try to walk in? So let's see. Okay, because it's open, so might as well take advantage. Do you guys remember these post boxes? They're really awful because, you know, you open them like that. I don't know if I can. Yeah, you open them from below. So when you pull them down, everything falls off. It was a communist torture device. And let's see, I think she lived on either the 2nd or the 3rd apartment. Wow, they pay like really crazy small utilities compared to Bucharest. My sum is tripled compared to those that I see here. 21 lei, this is ridiculous. I mean, come on. Oh, yeah, well, I guess these are the advantages of living in a small place. And if I'm not mistaken, either that or that was her door. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. We should go around the building. Yeah, so in the back of the building, from my aunt's place, we used to play hide and seek and play cops and robbers. I have a lot of family photos down this alley of my aunt and my cousin. If I find one, I may actually attach it on the side to this vlog. But yeah, this was where we used to hang out with my cousin. Yeah, and there was this kindergarten or preschool grounds over here. It was usually locked up, but we would break in and play, especially since it was summertime, so it was abandoned during summertime. Now it looks really snazzy. Yeah, I have fond memories in this area. Too bad that at the moment they have all of these grates everywhere. Like, has crime gone up in this neighborhood? I don't even know. And as you can see, the profusion of motherfucking cars everywhere. If there is one thing I hate, passion in this world, are cars. I cannot stand cars. I would rather walk until my feet bleed to reach my destination than to take a car. I know that buses, trams, planes, you know, very convenient, but they take a lot of people to a certain location. But like, having individual cars is the height of ego. I'm just having a rant about cars right now because I have had it up to here. And it's also disgusting to see that some people just buy like 3 or 4 or 5 cars and they just leave them hanging around, you know. We have terrible regulation related to not only fining people for this disgusting chaos, but also like having the police chase down people who have been fined, because you can get a fine and not pay it and that's it, you're still able to drive your car magically. But hopefully with the new government and with the economic crackdown and limits that we're having at the moment, I hope that we're going to be able to tow a lot more of these unused cars. And I hope that increasing prices in gas are going to make more people decide not to buy a car. Okay, rant over. I'm cool. People have really maxed out their lower grounds, the lower ground floors. Look at this. They not only extra built rooms, but they also painted them in these garish colors. They even have an open oven over here. Jesus, living the life. Although I do love the roses garden, and I love the vines. I love the grapevines. When I was little, the whole city was filled with grapevines. Also because this region is really well known for its abundance of good quality grapes and great wines. Some things have changed for the better. Some things are cleaner, better materials, more quality, more security cameras. And there's a beautiful church over there. And of course, disgusting cars. Constant disgusting cars at every corner. And our roads are not even built for ridiculous sized American cars like that one. But this is nice and quiet and filled with roses. So yeah, God bless. Hey guys, editing Lexi here. I do apologize for the fact that the next section you're going to watch is going to be completely in Romanian. I had to rush to the bus stop to catch my bus back to Bucharest, and I didn't have a chance to record my grandmother's house visit in English, so I had to give you the clip that I initially pre-filmed for my mother. So that's why it's in Romanian. I'm describing to my mother how my grandmother's house looks like. I'm a little bit disappointed in what I'm saying. The scenery completely changed. It's not at all how it used to be when I was little, and things have grown richer, fuller, but sentimentally and emotionally vapid, I would say. Anyway, please enjoy the visuals and the Romanian language, I guess. Da, deci aici e Bujor 43, acolo e unde locuia Jaravete. Acolo este intersecția de stradă, care acum este ultra îngrămădită de faptul că și-au construit o mulțime, niște vile absolut scârboase, și acolo e blocul unde locuia Monica. Deci, ții minte ce spațiu era aici, nu? Acum nu sunt plante. Aici este unde locuia vecina lui mămă. Uite-te și ce dita mai căsoiul de prost gust, e incredibil. Și da, toată strada este plină de niște vile. Este absolut groaznic. I have to say that I am not at all having a good time in the city. People are incredibly rushed and rude, and makes me feel like I want to drink. The atmosphere is so oppressive and nasty. Everybody just seems to queue in front of banks. The materialism is so harsh that it's palpable. I'm happy to never return to this place again once I get on the bus this afternoon.